It's Nerding Out with the Phantom Zone. And I'm back hanging out with Bryce and Chuck from Phantom Zone. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hey, Scotty.
You know, we haven't really... last time I think we recorded Bryce was the Push episode a long time ago.
Yeah, that's like back special episode 25, so it was a bit ago.
Yeah, that was a really long time. Somebody brought that up on Twitter today, I think. Merrick, I think, was talking about it. But yeah, so it was a while ago. But so you guys are Phantom Zone, part of the Croutonian family. How long has Phantom Zone been around? Now Elle just had its 1-year birthday on July 1st, so Phantom Zone must not be too far behind that, right?
No, and I wouldn't know. Is there somewhere you can go and look to see when the clan was created, or you guys just know?
Well, I took a picture of like the first war.
Oh.
Like the war screen, and I knew we had started it the day before. You know, like we got to the clan, the first 10 people that showed up, we hit search for war, and so I knew based on the date on the picture when it was.
Bryce, you were there very early, though, right? You were one of the first?
I was the first main account in Phantom Zone. It was originally created by BrainLink as a home for alts that weren't active enough to play in Zod or L, and I perverted it into its own clan eventually.
Yeah, because all the clans had a real purpose starting up, and it seemed like as they started forming based on the needs of what people wanted.
Right, and that's what Phantom Zone came from, and that's something that we've really tried to stay true to. When the clan perks came out, we sort of struggled with that a little bit. But we were able, and we've kind of gone towards more war focused, and we didn't really find it to be successful. And we've always kind of gone back to the fact that we're the relaxed clan. If you're busy, we don't use Clash Caller. Okay. And then when the opt-in and out came, I felt like we really came into our own because we can have 30 people in the clan, or 50 people in the clan, do 30v30 wars, and it's been good since then.
It's really amazing to think that didn't exist. There was a time where everybody either had to war or, you know what I mean, like, or leave.
Absolutely, and
that's so crazy.
Right, and that's the part of the game where we were like the least Phantom Zone, and I was the most frustrated because I had to chase these people down and figure out, how to, get it going and what were the rules and if you missed your attacks, and it was a lot of work. And now we can be what we've always meant to be, which is fun and relaxed, and it's cool.
So Chuck, I guess. And Bryce too, because I need a refresher. I heard you on the Clash cast talking about it. But where are you guys at in the game?
So I am, it seems like every guest you have now is the same. I'm a Town Hall 9, max defense, working on lavas. I've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 80, 85 lavas.
Jeez.
And my heroes are at Queen's at 27, King is at 20.
Impressive. That's really
Thank you.
Impressive.
It's been a grind for sure.
And I do want to ask you about warring without the queen, if you do that, coming up, because I just had a horrible war without my queen. How about you, Bryce? You're a TH10, but you have a TH8, right?
Yeah, I have a TH10 account, mostly skull walls now. I just have a few crystals left. Crappy heroes, I think 15 queen, 13 king. Max troops almost. My giants are going up to 7 right now. I have a couple of things left to do.
They're amazing.
Yeah, I've been excited to try them. And I changed jobs back almost a year ago now, and I just time for the Town Hall 10. It was before the matching update, and I didn't have time to play it, and so I started this baby account, and now it's a Town Hall 8, and it takes all my time. So
nice.
But it's really cool because now I've got a completely different perspective playing through doing war attacks at Town Hall 6 and Town Hall 7 and playing through all the parts of the game that are different now that I had already passed by when I started my first account.
It's amazing to me too how, like, because with Britney Spears, how even at like Town Hall 8, how different the game is after. I created that account like a year ago. It was dead for a while, but now even like with the 7s, now there's air sweepers and there's now dark. Do 7s get dark spells? I thought, or is it just 8? Remember?
8.
It's just 8.
Just
eight,
8.
I
Okay.
think.
Yeah, it's a crazy new world with max dragons and the CCs and it's crazy. What's the name? Do you want to say the name of your mini?
Yeah, my main account is just Bryce, and my mini account is Grease Monkey.
Oh, okay, yeah. And did Grease Monkey come over to Smallville? 87?
I don't think so. I usually do. Historically, Grease Monkey's always been in Phantom Zone, and if I do a walkabout, I do it with my main. I don't think I've been to Smallville.
Okay. I thought I warred with you before. I don't know. So okay. Do you war without your queen? I gotta ask this before I forget. Chuck.
I have not in quite a while. So
okay.
I'm to the point now where I'll put her down for a couple of days and then I'll gem what's left.
Okay. I'm working it out now. I put mine down and
I went for a long time without spending any money, and I think I'm at peace with it now. It's just I put so much time into the game that I'm okay with it.
I feel like there's got to be some way to crack the nut of being able to make up the difference. Like, I can do it without my king. I mean, honestly, like the king being down, it hurt a little bit, but for some reason, I'm just like, God, there's got to be just something where to make it not so painful. And I don't know what that is.
It's gems.
Yeah, I know. God, it's the sanity. Last 1-star war, last war. Really?
Yeah, well, I had one of those with my heroes, so don't feel too bad.
Oh, okay. How about you, Bryce? Well, so you have on your TH8. Where's everything at? Are you maxed out, or how are you playing that one?
I am. My goal is to be an 8.5 and to kind of go through Town Hall 9 and do it the right way. So I kind of have a premature Town Hall 10, I would say. So my goal is to not.
Yeah.
So right now I've got most of my troops upgraded. I've got my hogs to 4, barbs, archers, all that good stuff is upgraded. Working on defenses. I'm about, I don't know, maybe a third of the way into it. Fairly new to Town Hall 8, but
okay.
Have all my walls to crystal and a few troops upgraded.
Very nice. And so what do you? Okay, so Chuck. So Phantom Zone. How often do you guys war? Like you said, you're pretty laid back, but what are your wars like? And then I guess, what are you guys attacking with? What's your strategies in war? So you're in Phantom Zone 1 and 2, or how is that?
I think we both have an account in each Phantom Zone 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yes.
And Phantom Zone 2 is pretty new, right?
Yeah, within the last 3 weeks.
Okay. Wow. So very new. So let's start with Phantom Zone. What's your like war size? How often are you warring?
So we're warring 3 times a week. Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. And our Friday wars are the out of the box wars. Ooh. So everyone is encouraged to do attacks that they are not comfortable with. So it's a great way to learn new strategies. We're still trying our hardest to win, but you get locked into one strategy and never learn anything else. So it's a good way to branch out a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're typically in the 25, 30 range, looking back at our history here.
How big is Phantom Zone? Is it filled up?
We're at 46 right now, yeah.
Okay, wow. So you guys are staying pretty full.
Mm-hmm.
And so what do you guys using in wars? What do you or what are the matchups like? Are you guys bunch of TH10s in there too? Is it pretty even? What have you guys been finding with?
We're a very Town Hall 9 heavy clan. We have a ton of extremely good Town Hall 9s. And our current war, neither clan has a Town Hall 10.
Really? So do you find like the matchups, like, I mean, is the scores like close? Are you finding like you're blowing them out of the water?
They've been pretty close lately. I mean, we've had a few matchups lately where we've had 3 or 4 TH10s against us with no TH10s on our side. Okay. So that's been interesting to navigate, but we've been handling it. We have a new TH10 2-star specialist who he just goes after their 1 and 2 anytime there's a TH10 to go against, and he's like our 7.
Oh, really?
And he's been awesome at it. Yeah, so that's been a huge boost.
Yeah, Boston beat down.
So he's been beating them down.
He has been. It's crazy.
It's been crazy to watch, yeah.
So what does he do? Like as a 7 or as a 9, as a 2-star TH? Because I should really take some notes, given some of my war performance.
Yeah, me too.
Is his heroes pretty like? I mean, how is he attacking?
He's been going mainly go wee wee with some back end loons.
Okay.
His heroes, his king's 15 and his queen's 13, so he's not super high. He just goes straight at it. He's not afraid of infernos, which I certainly am.
Yeah, and are they like? I suppose with multi, it doesn't quite matter. I mean, this is the 9s going up against a 10.
I think he likes it more when they're on single because he uses some witches, so the skeletons will distract.
Yeah,
but he doesn't care.
Just goes right at it.
Yeah, this is a replay of him taking out ones on multi, ones on single. They're not maxed infernos, but go wee wee straight to the core, some back end loons, 2 stars, easy peasy.
Goes right for the TH and
yeah, right. I mean, it's not a great base, granted, but I mean, he's a damn good attacker. It's impressive.
Yeah, so with us not having any TH10s, we're not pulling super high TH10s on the other side, but any bases with infernos are tough for us.
Well, yeah, because it's the free. There's no freeze, and so you're basically handicap because of those infernos, and then there's their high hit points, and it could be really scary to go up against infernos, especially without the freeze. I mean, but that really makes a huge difference, in attacks and what you're going to do. So, what are you attacking with, Chuck? What's your like?
I like to try to, look through the top few bases. So lately, I've been our number 1 as we haven't had any TH10s. So I'll usually just pick through the top 5 and take a look at which bases have some sort of exploits, and I'll try to build an army around that. So I like to try to mix it up. So I use a lot of hogs. I use a lot of Goho, Golaloon. I've experimented with some of the Valk attacks.
Ooh, yeah.
I've experimented with different numbers of golems. So, and that's where the out of the box wars have been awesome. So I've done some like 4 golem hog attacks, 5 golem hog attacks, and they work sometimes. So it's been a mixed bag, I guess.
And how about you, Bryce? I guess you're warring more with your 8, or are you warring with your 10 too?
I'm warring with both now since we've opened Phantom Zone 2. I've got the 10 in Phantom Zone 2 and the 8 in Phantom Zone 1. But we're both working on our hog attacks with our Town Hall 8s. So we actually
me too.
Yeah. So I've had some successes, had some failures. I had my first 3-star and some not 3 stars. So that's been fun. Because I think I got my hogs leveled up like the week before they got nerfed. Like, level 5 hogs. Oh god, they're not good anymore. So, and then with the Town Hall 10, man, it's all been about go wee wee 4 golems and earthquake with witches and wizards, and so I'm kind of playing with that. And I probably should watch a YouTube video or whatever, but I'm just doing whatever feels good.
They're always obsolete after an update, though. So it's like, I mean, the principles are the same. But like on an 8, do you have an 8 too, Chuck?
I have a 8.5.
Okay, so you've got two 9s then.
9s, yeah.
Okay. So what are you finding with the hogs, Bryce? Because Brittany just got hogs, I think, last week, and she's over in Kent Farmhouse 2.0. It's last night I had a 3-star and a not so 3-star. I can't even remember what was it I just fell short on. I think it was like a higher percentage 1-star. What are you finding with the hogs at 8?
Yeah, that sounds exactly like what I did in the last war. I had this really great 3-star. Thanks to Merrick, he kind of helped me with a few things, and just knocked it out. It was really awesome. Like I had 4 Valks left and like 8 hogs sitting there, and then I got all puffed up, and I'm big and bad, and I'm gonna take out somebody like 4 spots up the map, and got up like 45% 1 star. So.
That was exactly what I did too, and it was Merrick who helped out with the strategizing. Because we had strategized, I think it was last week sometime, and had a really good attack. And then we were strategizing, and then he went to bed because it was getting pretty late, and I want to get my attacks in because I'm the 9s had to go and the 10s. And then I decided, you know what, I think this one's a better hog base, and then that's the one I blew. So what's happening? Are you like? Just what are you looking for, or what are some things you're, I guess, discovering? Anything you can share with me? Because
it's always base selection and just trying to figure out where these stupid things are going to go.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's got to be the absolute weakest part of my war attack game. Is I'm always surprised as what happens after I drop the troops. So, these guys, well, it'll path over there. And I'm like, and then the Tesla pops up and it's all over. So,
and then there's bacon everywhere.
Yeah, just so much bacon.
Oh, one thing that Merrick taught me, and here's, and I think you could relate to this because having had a 10 and you go to 10, games changed, and then you start, fresh, and you're going through, and there's like all those little intricacies that you forget about, or maybe you didn't even learn the first time. But one thing that really helped me, we were talking, and Nate Dogg we were all in the KFAM, Earth Kent Farmhouse chat, TeamSpeak, and they were talking about how you just drop, and of course, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have a podcast, but you drop the heal spell, like you center it on a building where, the hogs are going to go around, where it's going to get the most defenses. And, I always knew I've used the heal spell a ton, but to think of it like the jump spell, or to think of it in terms of placing it on a building with the radius and just really carefully doing it and anticipating, where that's going to go. That helped a ton in my attack.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one of the other things I'm trying to do is to get my heal to 5.
Okay.
So
yeah, it helps a ton. But
question: Have you guys played with the Asian wall deployment of the hogs?
No. Have you?
I quite a bit actually now. So I didn't mention earlier, I also have my wife's account, which she's kind of waning on her interest in the game. So I've been playing on that more and more, which is Town Hall 8.
Nice.
And switching to the Asian wall has been it's been so much, because it's so much easier to predict where they're going to go. They're just going to go in a wave straight across the base.
And then
you might have better luck with that with pathing.
So what's your comp then on something like that?
For her, I usually bring somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 hogs, maybe 28, and then 5 in the CC, 5 max. And then whatever is going to take care of the CC, and get rid of any giant bombs if I can get rid of any ahead of time. If the king is at Town Hall 8 is accessible, maybe bring a little bit of a kill squad to take care of them, and then probably in the neighborhood of 8 wizards for cleanup.
Okay, so 28 hogs or 30 hogs, somewhere in there?
Yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood. It changes, and then another 5 in this clan castle.
Okay, because see, I've been bringing in 2 witches and a barb to take. ever since the update with those dragons coming out of the CC way more often, because of the poison spell, all of a sudden it's like, the kind of mixed up combo isn't really, you're not seeing it as much because they're so easy to kill.
Right.
That
Right.
dealing with the dragons has been kind of a nightmare.
I mean, you don't just like kind of the old school lore and kill with 8 or 10 archers and then a couple of wizards.
No, because they get fried. I don't know. It's such a delicate balance. With the hog attacks for one. So up until just now, I guess here's the thing: is up until now I was doing just drag attacks, and then I finally got my hogs leveled up, and so now I started it. So I guess I'm entering a whole new world of TH8 because I'm, now I'm dealing with the drags coming out of the CC. So I guess I haven't had a ton of experience with luring because I was just doing the drags before.
Yeah.
But I found with those witches, they're going to be, you drop the 2 from the CC and then the drags follow it. But the problem with that is if you don't get it just right, you're going to run out of time, because you're trying to kill them. And on my TH10 account, I've done it where I, did the kill squad, and the dragons are they're turning and they're doing what they're supposed to do, and I'm dropping wizards, and the wizards are running right underneath of them, and so it's a complete learning process, I guess. But so you're just doing the lure and then sending in the archers.
Yeah, I think it's the way everybody did it before they learned about witches, right? We make a little semicircle and just sprinkle a couple wizards in there so that, hopefully you get a couple shots with the wizards before they die.
Yeah.
And I don't think I faced any max drags, so, how much more effort that takes, I'm not sure of yet.
It shouldn't be that much because the damage isn't, it's not incredible, or the hit points on the drags aren't I think it's only a couple hundred. But for some reason they just seem to be such bitches, you just can't, it's weird. It's weird to me. And with those hog attacks, it's such a delicate balance, cause if you screw up the lure, or, you let the Velk survive or whatever, that if that comes out, the whole attack is just done.
Yeah. There's nothing worse than one of those raids that's over in the first 20 seconds and it, right?
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah.
I had one that sticks out in my mind where I just lost my 2 wall breakers in the first 3 seconds to a spring trap, and I said, "Well, that raid's over in 3 seconds."
Oh, and it's just painful because you're like, "Well, let's see what happens." I do like I don't know if you've done this. Do you have your spell factory, the dark spell factory at 8?
Yes.
Bryce, do you? Have you got yours up yet?
Yeah.
Because we were talking in the Kent Farmhouse chat about using the poison on the skellies instead of on the CC troops. Because it's like you get to that last part of your raid, the skellies are around, and dropping that does do a lot for your hogs. Have you experimented with that at all? Anyone?
I have not,
no?
But I've thought about it, and it seems really interesting. I bet it could work for sure, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, because you've got that one extra space. So if you're attacking first, and drag comes out, it's like, well, you could slow the drag down, but then you go with your attack and then just save it for the skellies later on, and it actually is helped a couple times that I've remembered to do it. No, it can be tough. So what else is going on in the game? Are you guys farming? Are you pushing? What's your normal clash day or clash week?
I'm farming right now. I'm trying to get all of my defenses done so I can start working on my walls and I can, if I can get a boost session in on my day off, that's pretty cool. And I try to get a few raids in during the day, but it's more or less successful depending on what kind of mood all the airplanes are in.
Oh yeah, I suppose. Safety first, right?
Exactly.
And are you farming on both the 8 and the 10? Or you just
no, I don't. My 10 was completely parked before Phantom Zone 2 started, and I'm actually using it now. And then the new Earthquake Go Wee Wee thing is pretty fun. I'm enjoying that. So I'll queue up a balloon raid and do one every once in a while just because that's fun. But a lot of Barch on the Town Hall 8 and grinding pretty hard to keep all 5 builders busy and get all the defenses up. And
nice. And so you just have the crystal walls. You haven't moved to skulls yet?
I have a few. I think I have 20 maybe.
Okay. All right. I'm just collecting on Brittany right now, so it's...
Yeah, I have 25 skull walls, so...
So how about you, Chuck? What's your Clash day look like?
I'm on quite a bit at work. Not necessarily farming, but, usually just checking in to see if anybody needs troops or anybody has any questions. But I've been farming Dark Elixir hard for the last few months, trying to get these heroes finished off.
Are you going to take them to 30, right?
30, yeah. So that's been a real grind, and there's sort of a light at the end of the tunnel with the Queen, but the King still's got a ways to go.
Do you think, okay, and Papa was saying this, and some of the 8s, Spaceman in L, too, they were saying that they would miss their King way more than their Queen. Is that what do you find that too at 9?
I guess I have a different opinion. I've seen people argue this, what's more important for war, the King or the Queen? And I think people tend to say the King's more important because it's the Queen killer on the defensive Queen killer. So they always people argue that you should have your King, he's more important. I guess my take on that is that I don't disagree that he's more important to have there to kill that Queen, but to kill a level 30 Queen, you probably only need a level 20 King, and anything after that, the added benefit of going to 25 isn't that much. So I think once he gets to a certain kind of critical mass, then I think you're getting more for your investment on leveling the Queen up.
Well, do you think he can be replaced? Because can't you take in a P.E.K.K.A. most of the time to do his job, or is that?
No, I think you're right there, but at the expense of 25 camp spaces, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Every camp space matters. So I think you're right, and I've seen it done. You watch YouTube videos where people can do it, but I don't think I could.
So is that why you took Queen up first?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, and she helps so much more with farming too. She's the Dark Elixir getter, so I think once she's done, I'll be in a better spot.
And so so you're farming Dark Elixir. You are in the SOAS competition with...
I am, yep.
Had Nate on last night and Rambo Lamb, and you're over there, and there's a bunch of people. What are you farming with that, and how are you doing?
I'm doing exclusively the Super Queen.
Okay.
And I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm not like the SOAS guys. Those guys are insane.
They are insane.
But I'm doing pretty well, and I like to farm as high as I can in trophies for the bonus.
I do too.
Which is not helping. I think I noticed that you were too. It's not helping us in this contest because the bonus doesn't count.
Right. And then you're waiting for bigger armies, and I did decide today to DE drop or just dive because.
Oh really?
Yeah, Papa Smurf I think went up. I think he got over 100K yesterday.
He did. I saw the standings today.
Yeah, and he dropped, and I thought, you know what? I bet I could just go in, take the dark drill. If I can take the dark drill, if I can see that there's stuff in it, and don't care about trophies because I was doing really good before. I was grinding my heroes out for a while, and then we did that push, and then I'm got addicted to masters again. Because of the big bonuses, but
yep. Know that addiction well.
Yeah. So where are you at? And are you in Masters? Are you
I'm in Masters 1?
Okay.
I'm at 3,000 right now. Yeah. So I try to stay in Masters 1. Sometimes I dip into Masters 2.
Yeah, I just dipped today, but I'll probably.
But this Super Queen army doesn't take that long to cook. I mean, it's longer than Barch, but if I'm boosting it's done by the time I get back from a raid.
Oh, because you're boosting all the barracks with the. So what's your comp with that? Is it?
I go eight. I go eight healers, 8 wall breakers, and the rest minions.
Okay. And then what are you looking for? Are you going in for just at the dark elixir, or are you going for the bonus as well? Like,
it's just for dark. I mean, I'll take a snipe if it's there, but my criteria is anything with more than 2,000 dark elixir at a Town Hall 9, and then with the bonus, it ends up being 3,000 a raid roughly. At least, nice? Right? Sometimes you get better.
Yeah, it's so nice. Except for, I hate it when I go in and then I see that the like how I was attacking for the DE was, going for that collector, or not the collector, but the storage. And then I'd go in and I'd see, the drills are spaced all the way around, and I'm like, oh shit, and so I would have to next past it because I'm like, I need it all in that storage to Jai-Barch my way right, and
So I'm also not going to argue with all the people that are Jai-Barching in this contest because they're just killing it. So I'm not saying it's my way is the right way, but I'm happy with it.
No, and I think it's a precision instrument, the Super Queen. I just don't trust my queen with anything.
Yeah, she can be crazy, and part of it too, I think, subconsciously I just want to use her because I've put so much time into her.
Yeah.
Just
Where'd you say she was at? 28?
27.
27. Did you notice a difference at 23? Because I hear that's the magic spot, and mine's going to 23 right now. Or do you remember noticing?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think it did change with the update because all the hit point values changed.
Oh yeah. On the so maybe it's a little bit different now even.
I think it's a little different now. So the theory is the over damage, right? So I think it has changed. And actually I think 28 is a big one.
Really?
But there's probably also another big one somewhere in the low 20s as well.
Damn
I've got a spreadsheet, Scotty. I'll look it up and get back to you later on that.
Yeah, I did not even think about that post update if things had changed that way, but it's rough. Where's your king at, Bryce, on your 8?
9. Just
me too.
Collecting up the last little bit to go to 10.
And when will you move to 9?
My thing has always been when I'm done upgrading Dark Elixir stuff, when I can't upgrade anymore, I'm gonna go. And I still think that's pretty true. I was really excited about getting the dark spells because that gives me, more time at Town Hall 8.
Yeah.
To get stuff done. So, but the point of this account is the heroes really. So I don't see waiting around for whatever. I'd just go ahead and get up and get the queen going to 10. So,
won't that be nice? You'll probably pass your other account one day.
Well, my king on my 10 is only a 13. So,
oh, nice. Yeah, I suppose.
I'm not too far away right now.
So because then you've still got the same ability level. I mean, once you hit 10 on Grease Monkey.
Yeah, well, it's crazy because of how different Clash is for people that started at different times. When did you start playing, Chuck?
I started March of 2014, so long after you guys.
Right.
Wow.
So I'm November of 13, and Scotty is the OG of the OG.
September of 2012.
Right. When you started playing, Dark Elixir troops weren't even a thing.
No.
But and I've said this on more than one podcast, and I'll say it again, that the biggest thing that's ever happened to Clash of Clans is when they tethered the heroes.
Yeah.
Because when war started, I mean, before war, the heroes didn't matter because the AI was silly. And when they were untethered, you drug them into the corner, you murdered them, and then you went about your dragon raid, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. By the time I made the decision to go to Town Hall 10, it had never entered my mind that the king or queen would ever matter to me.
And I think it's overlooked in that. It might have come up on the Clash files or something, but it really made me think about. It was every time you upgraded it, it was 4 minutes or something like that. So if you got the max heroes, you're talking like 3 hours or 4 hours between. So it was like if you upgraded it, you couldn't use them very often.
Right, exactly, and that was that same update. So and having started when I started, I'm a farmer. That's like what I've always been into. So for me to be like, hey, I'm going to build an 8.5, and that's what I'm excited about. That's like a total different. Like if you would have asked me 6 months ago that my goal was to be an 8.5, I would have been like, that's the dumbest crap ever. Just build your expos and do the thing. But it's such a different game now.
And so you started, Chuck, then War was already around when you.
No, I think I was at Town Hall 7 when War started.
Okay.
So I think it was maybe a month after I started. I think it started in April, right around April Fool's, right? That was when they did the video of the exploding Valk, right? Yeah, the Clash of Clans.
Yeah.
So I was probably a Rush Town Hall 7 at the time.
Okay, and then so where were you? Like, what did you when you started? Where were you at? Were you like, were you with friends in a clan? Were you?
Oh yeah, it was an interesting story. So I started like anybody else. I found a clan on Global, and it was a bunch of crazy guys from Israel that
Nice.
found me, or I found them, and they were Town Hall 7, so they had dragons and they were just awesome. So they gave me advice. Oh, you should just rush right to Town Hall. Actually, they told me to skip Town Hall 7 and go to 8 for the drill.
Okay.
So I went straight to 8. I think I was at 7 long enough to get my king, but all my defenses were still like Town Hall 4 defenses. So I was probably at 8 by the time.
Wait a second. You were at 7 with Town Hall 4 defenses?
Well, and then I skipped 7, so I was really at 8 with real low defenses.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I grinded out Town Hall 8 for a good 6 or 7 months.
And then when you went to 9, what did you do? Like, did you do the 8.5 thing? Did you?
No, that wasn't. Well, if that was a thing back then, it was before I really knew about it.
Okay.
So I just put down my expos right away and kept my builders going.
It's hard to let them sit.
Yeah. So, thinking back, like maybe a month after I went to Town Hall 8 and rushed it, I realized that those guys I was with didn't know what they were talking about at all. So, you gotta be careful who you take advice from.
Exactly. I mean, you could wind up in a whole new spot in the game.
Yep.
Especially don't go back and listen to the old podcasts, because you'd definitely end up in a wrong part of the game with the advice that we gave back then.
I started listening to you at Boneyard within like a week or two of starting.
Okay.
I
apologize.
And I went back and listened to all the original ones. I started with episode 1, so I've heard of almost all of them.
Well, and I guess I think this theme comes up a lot lately about how much the game has changed, because every 6 weeks, or 8 weeks, Supercell updates and everything changes. It keeps it fresh. But like. And Bryce, if we went back and we looked at, where the game was, how do you guys think like now as a player in the game, you could prepare for future updates? Do you think like, and I guess that's kind of a big question, right? But, is there a way to have played it that maybe keeps all that to account? I mean, or anything you guys...
Well, I mean, the biggest thing, and it's been true the entire game, is the only mistake you can make in Clash of Clans is upgrading your town hall, because everything else, if you upgrade your archer towers first and then it turns out that they change the mortars and they're something, whatever, whatever they upgrade, that's fine. You can handle that within your town hall level. But if you go to Town Hall 8 with Town Hall 6 troops, you're going to have a bad time. That's the only mistake you can make. So, I mean, the importance of maxing everything, I mean, to a degree, it depends on how you play. I mean, if you're worried about getting 3 stars in war, then the most important thing might be your troops. and you might not be worried about having those Lego walls or whatever. But or like, I mean, you could make it all the way to Town Hall 10 and not upgrade your healers or your goblins. So it's hard to tell because, I mean, before the Valks got buffed, how many people had how many Town Hall 10s are there that had level 1 Valks when they got buffed? All of them?
Yeah. Yep. So I think, like, as you like talked about, I mean, can you think of anything, Chuck? Like, I mean, like, I don't. I mean, I even think with like well, first of all, the change, and I think one of the big changes in the entire game, and I almost wonder if Supercell would have done this because it was the thing is that, like they said, there's not as many town halls or Town Hall 10s, and 9s is like the one place, but that probably wouldn't have been so much the case had they not allowed you to put the elixir into the walls. Right? Like because that's why I went up. I was like, I am not going to sit here and just burn elixir, because the troop upgrades and everything like that, elixir was really just for troops, at that point.
That's a great point. I probably would be Town Hall 10 right now if it wasn't for elixir into walls.
Yeah, because at that point I was just like, I'm not going to sit here and then have my troops maxed out, and then I went up, and I even had like level 7 walls when I went to 10, I think, maybe even some level 6. I mean, but and I was just looking at my elixir escapade and my gold grab, and I'm 250k elixir higher than my gold grab. Because it's always offense. And I think what Bryce was touching on that earlier, you can't go wrong with offense, ever. I mean, the lab should always be going over everything else. I guess that's the way I've played it. And it was really nice when I had everything maxed out, and then they came out with more stuff.
Funny how they do that.
Yeah.
Just when you're about done. Yeah.
Right at the cusp, and then here comes the other things. And then I was finally getting to do some major wall things.
Well, it sounds like you've been making a lot of progress listening to you on the podcast, right? You're getting up there now.
Yeah, I'm getting better with my heroes. My walls, it seems like once I hit Lego walls, I just stopped getting hit so hard for resources. I mean, I wasn't even getting zapped when you could zap. Yep. They were taking my town hall and going, and and I stopped with my defenses only because I wanted to do some of those Legos, but our matchups in L have been just intense, and so I didn't want to increase the war matchup even more. And it would have been nice, I think, to be able to, in my principle, like how I guess I've always played is like defense, defense. But for me, it was, this level of Archer Tower is not going to make that much of a difference with what I'm getting hit if I can slow them down just a little bit longer. And then they come out with something like the Earthquake, right? Where you can take out any wall, with 4 earthquakes, and it's a big patch. Are you guys using that?
Oh yeah,
I've used it in the our out of the box wars with. It's been successful, but my raids haven't ended up successful, so I haven't broken it out in our regular wars yet. But I'm gonna keep playing with it. I really like it. I really like all the new dark spells, to be honest.
Yeah. So post update, good update. What do you like? What were you most impressed with? What are you happy with the spells? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's fun to just, like, okay, I'm going to take a rage and then like I'm going to 4 earthquakes and 2 poisons. Like it's a lot more mix and match, like what you can do. Cause I feel like the spells are pretty much, especially at Town Hall 10, I'm taking 2 freeze, 2, whatever, 2, or I need 3 jumps, or depending on whether you're lava looning or go wiping or whatever. It's like, okay, this is the spell set for this attack. And then, it's kind of fun to go, well, I'm going to go do this, or I can get through these walls and blow this big of a hole, so I can try go wee wee again that hasn't worked in a while, and I don't have to bring a P.E.K.K.A. And
Yeah.
so, or now that I've been doing the go wee wee with the earthquakes, like I might throw a P.E.K.K.A. in and see what she does, and it's just any time there's new stuff, it's fun to. And then the poison spell, like, because I'm impatient, like I'm the least patient person on earth, so I always screw up the lure, and I always so just dropping the poison on their head and killing the CC troops is pretty satisfying.
That is really nice, and I love it when you watch. Like I saw this today in somebody's replay, and now I'll wait for them to meet up, and I always have my poison, and it doesn't take it. The nice thing about like the update, I think, is they added that extra spell slot, so you just get an extra spell. First of all, like the poison, you can bring it with every time, and your same comp can be, you don't even have to touch that. But I love dropping that poison and watching the archers walk through it and just die. I think that's so awesome. It's like they're melting away. What about you, Chuck? What's your favorite part of the new update?
I'm pretty impressed with the spells as well. I think it's going to take a while to see where it really goes, but for me, the thing that is the most boring thing about Clash is when everybody uses the same attack over and over again. Like when it was just Golaloon, and that's all anybody used, that's just boring to me. And the same back before the hero tether, then all you ever saw was hog attacks. So I guess what I want to see is in a few months or whatever, few weeks, however long it takes, these new spells I think are going to add so much flexibility to attacking that you're just going to see, you're going to have more possibilities and different ways to go. So I think that's just going to add a lot more color. And like Bryce said, with Earthquake taking down any level wall, I think it's going to bring the go wee wee and go white back as more viable options for 3-star attacks too.
Yeah, I got it. What's your favorite spell so far?
So far, it's haste, and I've only tried a few attacks with it, and they haven't all worked yet. But I got to figure out how to use it a little better. But I'm pretty impressed with it.
I don't want to put my Dark Spell Factory down again.
It was tough, but you got to do it.
I should just never have used the Dark Spell, and I should have just taken it up. I think I was out of elixir. Oh yeah, because we were pushing during the time, and then I was running low on elixir, so I didn't start it up. And I love my Quake. I love it. I love that spell. I think it's the best thing ever. I think blowing huge holes into bases. And, I love it because if you look at those, like the 4 buildings in a box, if you put it right in the dead center of those 4 buildings in that box, it'll blow holes on front, back, and both sides. And so all of a sudden you don't need to do the jumps. And you can steer troops really well. And I think it's going to have a big impact on base design.
I think so too. Yeah.
So Phantom Zone 2, how do you guys strategize, when you get into war attacks, and also what do you guys do about defenses? Not defenses, like war bases and things like that. Or do you put a lot of focus on it? Is there a lot of workshopping, all that type of stuff?
Well, I think we're getting there more so. Again, being the relaxed clan, like you can see kind of like our evolution to becoming a better war clan and our war log. I think we went on a stretch. I don't know if I think you had joined by then, Chuck, when we went on our 5 war losing streak.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that sucks. That hurts.
But
it's happened to all. Yeah.
It was dark days. Cause we'd lost 3 in a row, and then we had a couple of good wars, and then we lost 5 straight wars. And since then, we have only lost 2 in a row, 1 time, and really have come around. And a lot of that's, following Kent's model of talking stuff out and, workshopping stuff with other people and working on war bases and
building the core.
Just getting new members, and then Chuck brought a few of his clanmates in, and I'm shouted him out once already, but Boston Beatdown came over, and the dude's just good. I mean, there's no way to, like we have this, like, to have a Town Hall 9 that can just pick whichever 2 Town Hall 9s he wants to 3-star, or in the last 2 wars, 2 wars ago, there was 2 Town Hall 10s, and we didn't have any on our side, and he 2-starred there 1 and 2. And he put 4 stars on Town Hall 10s in 1 war. And then this war...
I'm going to come take notes.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. He's like, go wee wee with back end loons, and it's just, he's got 3 stars already. I'm sure he'll get another 3 this war. He put 2 stars on Town Hall 10's last war. It's impressive, and so you get better people, and it's, once you get one good attacker, and then the next guy goes, oh, I didn't think of that, and then he can do it, and then it trickles down, and as long as nobody watches my replays, because I'm the worst war attacker in history.
It's like fucking Neo seeing the code into the Matrix, and you're like, how do you do that on that attack? Or, there's a few 9s like that, a bunch of 9s in L that are just killing it, and they just, they can see the game, in a different light. It's super cool to watch. Your thoughts on that, Chuck? I mean, what do you...
Yeah, no, it's been interesting. So I have been with Phantom Zone for quite a while now, before Clan Perk started, and we hit kind of a crossroads there. We lost some guys, and we just kind of fought back, and we've had a lot of new people come in. A lot of people from within have really strengthened up their heroes and their walls, and gotten better base building. So it's been really fun to watch and be a part of.
And do you guys workshop your bases? Are you guys doing like because if you're up against 9, and this has come up in the last couple podcasts, but the anti 3-star base, are you guys doing that? Or are you thinking about? Or, I mean, how are you adjusting? What are your matchups like? Are they tough, or is it?
They've been pretty fair for the most part. I mean, sometimes you get one that's crazy one way or the other, but I mean, what do you think, Bryce? We've gotten pretty fair matchups, I thought, lately.
Yeah, it's been really even. Like, I mean, even when we've been drawing a couple of Town Hall 10s, like our Town Hall 9s are crazy. It's crazy how high level you guys. I mean, Chuck's a 118, Scarius is a 100, Boston Beatdown's a 106, Pip's a 112. Wardy's 101, Big Panda's 104, Ninja Turtles is 102. So even though we're getting Town Hall 10s, it's because we have some badass Town Hall 9s.
Right.
And our wars have been super close and pretty dang fun too. Also,
we had a war 2 wars ago where the clan we were up against was, I think, 49 and 12 or something like that. So we knew it was going to be a pretty tough war, and they had 3 TH10s to our none. And their leader, who was their number 5, left the troll base out. So I reported it to Supercell, and he got banned.
Oh, was it like a that kind of?
Yeah. It was guy giving the middle finger and piss and fire, I think, or something like that. But it was pretty funny. But we wanted a little bit of an edge, and so he did get banned. And then they put up a clan mail, said something about snitches get stitches.
Oh, nice.
And so now at that point, we're like, well, we really got to bring it now, because if we lose to them after getting their leader or one of their top players banned, it's going to be pretty embarrassing. And we pulled it out 71-70.
Wow.
With like 2 minutes left. We had a guy who's actually been a really good attacker. I think his name's Warhammer. Yeah, Warhammer had both attacks left with a half hour left. And we're like, oh, he's going to no-show and screw us. And we're down by 1 or tied at the time. And he showed up with like 20 minutes left, did his first attack. I don't think he got any extra stars, gemmed his army, and went out there and we were down by 2, and he 3-starred someone with like 2 minutes left to win the war. It was awesome.
Wow. Those are the fun. It's always so much fun at that point in a war when it's like super close and you're just like, God, what's going to happen?
Yeah, and we put a little extra pressure on ourselves by messing with him a little bit.
I'm just going to start going earlier in wars like that where it's going to be close. Because at the end, it gets so intense. The world shuts down around you. You're like, okay, we got to focus and dial in here and strategize where we're going to hit. And And so what are you guys getting hit with? Are you getting hit as a mostly TH9? Is it the same type of thing, or is you seeing switch ups or?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of go wipe and go wee wee. So you asked earlier about the anti-3 base, and we, when we first started really learning about them, we all tried using anti-3 bases, and we don't face enough clans that do those 3-star attacks to warrant it. I think that the last episode I listened to was the Nerding Out with House of L, and those guys said exactly what I've been thinking for a while, which is you should have an anti-3 base ready to go.
Yeah.
And kind of make the call on a war-to-war basis. And most of us have that, and I think we break it out maybe, 1 out of 10 wars.
Okay.
And my anti-3 base actually gets 3-starred more often by Town Hall 10s coming down and using Go Wipe, because, you got more spaced out compartments, so it's more susceptible to that.
Yeah.
Whereas they don't usually get 3 stars on my anti-2 base.
And we talked about it last night when we recorded, and Papa was on again. And I think in this last war, we ended up giving away a few more stars than, this was actually, we did a 50 versus 50, and we actually had a pretty big blowout, and it doesn't normally happen. I think it was just because, I don't know why it was. It's so weird to look across and not, to go, okay, that's not too bad. But that would be a perfect spot for that. And I think that's what, trying to get to and starting to think, because there was like that place where there was like, all right, let's really shore up our defenses. And like you said, I think that's happened in L, where more people have come in that are good, and then people are learning from each other. And now the defensive game changes a little bit. And when would you put that 3-star base out then?
Well, yeah. So lately, I've been using that warclans.com and looking up opponents' records. And so if I can see they have a good war record and they look like they have some legit bases, and it's kind of the bases that probably your 9s are nowadays, right? With really high heroes, really high walls, the people are building their base to take war seriously.
Yep.
That's when you can kind of make a gut call on that.
I've done it on. With Brittany, or even some of our lower THs that are new, because we don't like discriminate on who we take. If it's an 8, when you want to join, come join. And as you're looking at the bases or even just minor tweaks, like I'll go look at the opponent's profiles and see, like, do they have Go Wipe troops? Do they have, where are their hogs? Is this going to be a dragon type base? And I've done that a lot with Brittany, just because I'm experimenting with war bases, and as an 8, it's a whole different thing for me. Like, or if I'm going to get hit with hogs, kind of learning that. So that clanwars.com, is it pretty accurate?
Oh, it's warclans.com.
Warclans.
Yeah, I guess there's been some debate on how it actually works. So if you just go and look up your clan, it won't have all clans in there, but if somebody has already searched your clan, it will show up and probably be out of date. But if you create an account and log in, you can say do live search, and then it'll actually go and update, and then it'll give you up-to-date info to that minute.
On your clan? On any clan?
Any clan, yeah.
Wow.
So you have to actually have an account and log in to do that.
Okay, but so are you getting pretty valuable intel from that then?
The only thing I'm looking for is records, just to see, what kind of clan we're looking at.
That'd be interesting
because it shows the clan losses as well as wins.
Yeah, that would be interesting, like with House of L, because I don't even know like what our losses at, because it's like we win a couple, lose a couple, win a couple.
Right.
And we've been going. Zod hit their 100, and we're I think 3 weeks younger than Zod, and so and we're only like 77, I think.
Yep.
So there's got to be a lot in there. There's some rough times.
Yeah, but you guys have always had a significantly higher town hall skew and that makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
I've seen clan families almost break up over farmers trying to figure out how to farm or how to war with 8 Town Hall 10s or 9 Town Hall 10s. It makes it a lot different.
It is tough, and I've talked about this with people like in our team speak, just even about Town Hall 10s being discriminated against. I mean, I don't think it's a big thing, but it's one of those things where we've gotten like TH10s or like 9s that are rushed, and we'll just help nurse them, because it's like you want the. I'll never like. Hoseville especially will never be a thing that based on your profile, when you join, it's going to determine whether you come in or not. It's about, being able to, once you're there, if you're strategizing and kind of working on stuff. But yeah, there's always been a skew that way. And so Phantom Zone 2, you guys started 3 weeks ago. What's the membership like in that? Is it lower TH accounts?
Mostly, yeah. A lot of alts. The first 2 weeks was like, hey, I just saw you dudes in Phantom Zone. This is cool. We're doing these 10 versus 10 wars. This is fun. And awesome. Then we have a couple of new members. And so, yeah, we're just trying to get that thing going. I mean, we've got a few Town Hall 9s. I think I'm the only Town Hall 10, and a bunch of 7s, 8s, 4s.
Wow,
5.
4s, huh?
Well, maybe we don't have a 4 anymore. I think my buddy from work, Blaze, might have went up to 5.
Yeah, they're only 4 for like a couple hours, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, you can't really stay at 4 that long.
But and then we have like a defenseless Town Hall 6, Rancid from the Clash Files. His alt dead bullfrog is in there, and
God, that's a good name too.
I know, right? Yeah. They're both good. And then he's got some great does some great loon attacks and has been mopping up the bottom for us for several wars. We haven't lost yet.
Really,
two ties, but no losses. I got to give a shout out to Daddy-O for saving my bacon. I got a 49% 1-star on a Town Hall 9 in the last minute of the war, and it was 39 to 40 at that point, I think, or 38 to 40. So I needed a 2 for the tie, and then Daddy-O could have tried to 50% of Town Hall 10 for the win, and I ended up missing it, but he got the 1-star on the Town Hall 10, and so we tied 40 to 40. So that was pretty cool.
Wow.
I think about 5 minutes earlier, I had 0-starred that same base. You got 1 on Bryce, so don't feel bad.
Well, but I mean, it was so brutal. It was so brutal because there was 2 Golemites left, and they were hitting an air sweeper, and like one more punch, and it would have been done. Like, and if I would have, there was like builders' huts like out in the middle of nowhere. If I would have kept the wizard back and shot at one,
see, that's where the quake's gonna come in.
Oh,
that was single quake, like. Just to clinch that last percentage, because on the wiki it says, and it's not confirmed, and I've been trying this, but if a building's under 20%, it's supposed to bring it down.
Interesting.
Which makes sense with the walls, right? But
it does say in the description, can also cause structures that are almost destroyed to collapse instantly. So there is definitely a breaking point.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's quite 20. That's my gut, because I've been running with five of them to try to like test it to see if I would. But how many times has it come down to that like little tiny percent? And boom.
And you know what I found with that raid is that I thought that it would make a difference to get my like. I thought what I was missing on that comp, which is essentially go wee with Earthquake, is what I've been doing. And I thought what I was missing was getting my Royals into the center. And what I found out very quickly on that raid and I've been doing these attacks. I've had success on Town Hall 10, success on Town Hall 9s. I mean, 60%, 62%, 2 stars, fairly easy, no stress. And this attack, I finally figured out. I got my funnel right. I got my Royals down quickly and got them right into the center. And it was horrible. You want the king and queen, to act like a couple of P.E.K.K.A.s and wander around the outside and pick up some cheap and easy percent and let the witches and wizards get the town hall. Is exactly what I learned on that raid.
That's really good to know because I'm always trying like different comps, but figuring out how to adapt, in those situations, where you're gonna, if you don't have a hero, do you bring minions in for cleanup?
I don't, and that's another thing too. If I would have had one stupid minion, I could have put it on and I think that's something I'm going to do differently in the future.
I find it so valuable now, and I'll take 6 every time because you can plop one down right in view of a cannon and take out a percent and really work the other part of the percentage. Because I'll be searching, like I'll be at 47% and I would drop an archer going, okay, I think I can do it here. But, then there would be a cannon, facing, and I'm like, you know what, if something drops, I'll count it beforehand. I'll go, well, if I don't quite get it, I can squeeze out with 6 minions. I can squeeze out, probably 7%, at the very end to get that 2. If for some reason I get the town hall and I'm sitting at a lower percentage, but it makes a huge difference. What do you, Chuck? What do you bring for cleanup, or do you just go full force?
Yeah, I mean, most of my attacks lately, I should say most, have been hog attacks. So I'll bring just a few wizards and maybe a couple goblins if there's 1 or 2 empty spots left available. But and then if it's an air attack, it's usually the pups, lava pups.
Okay. Are you seeing something with, what about the second sweeper? Are you having problems?
Yeah, of course. It's hurt me on some raids. I guess what I think this update brought, right? You heard a lot of people complaining right off the bat about the higher hit points on one of these buildings and the second sweeper, and things have just gotten so much more difficult. I think what they did is they buffed defense and offense with the spells, but we didn't get the spells for a few weeks, and we still don't have them upgraded to max. So I think it'll take a little while to get back to kind of the even point we were at before.
Yeah, to equilibrium.
And I've kind of, just even having haste, I've already noticed that my Golaloons are back to where they were.
How many hastes are you bringing with that?
The last couple of wars I've been bringing 4 hastes. And it depends on what I need to get the kill squad, so whether or not there's a jump involved there.
Okay.
I'll still might bring a rage or 2 depending on what's going on. But yeah, the last few have been 4 haste and a poison, and then maybe a jump and 1 rage.
Okay. What did you upgrade first in terms of dark spells? I was going to ask you guys this before. What's your preference, or what's your order? I'm guessing you're going to do haste.
Well, so I mean, the first spell I had was poison, obviously, by 2 weeks. So I updated poison right away. So I have that to 3 already, and then I have haste going in the lab right now.
Okay. How about you, Bryce?
I got my earthquake to 2, and then as soon as I get enough dark elixir, I'll take it to 3. And I haven't upgraded the poison yet.
It doesn't seem like there's a lot of. I mean, it seems like poison to me. It'll take out what you need taken out at level 1, and it's not gonna. I think the slowdown factor is probably what's going to be the big thing for it. But I'm like you. I've got my earthquake going to 3 right now.
Well, right, yeah, because it if you look at the poison, it goes to level 2. It's a 90 more total damage, and then the 2% plus 2% on the speed decrease, so it goes from 28 to 30%. But on the earthquake, the hit point loss is 6% at level 1. Well, then it adds 2%, so at level 2 it's 8%, so it gets a third better.
Oh yeah, I didn't think of it.
Interesting, yeah.
That way.
And then it goes up another 2% at 3. So you're adding like a third, and then a quarter, and then an eighth, or whatever. So you're adding a tremendous amount of.
Yeah, I didn't think about it in terms of how much it improved. I thought about it in terms of the total number of hit points. Like Town Hall 10 is 5,500. So let's say you hit it with a level 3. And these are really good for, this is a TH10. if you have got a walled-in town hall or you've got the infernos on both sides boxed in, you drop it right on top of that town hall. You're going to take out and open up the infernos. You're going to take 10% off that. That's going to be $550, right? So then you're at $49.50, and then take another 10% off that. That's $490, right? So you start to go down. And with heroes, with lower heroes like mine, a couple seconds are going to make or break. So that's kind of where I've been looking at it. With the
one thing I did want to say about upgrading the poison is it does make a big difference with killing max wizards. So a level 1 poison will kill them, but a level 3 poison will kill them faster. And where I think that comes into play is on like the cold-blooded and shattered attacks. When they come out after your golems, they might get a couple extra, a few less shots in at your golems and save a lot of hit points there.
That's a really good point. Because I was debating about even on Brittany, which one I was going to upgrade. And I did take poison to level 2, but it would make much more sense in a hog if you are doing hog attacks to do the poison. If that's kind of your go-to as like an 8 or a 9, then you're going to want to kill what's in the CC much faster.
Yeah, and I don't think it matters at all if you're going to lure, right? You can just sit there and wait for it. But if you've got troops down and they're targeting your troops, you want them dead as fast as possible.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I didn't, and yeah, it must be a few seconds on the speed then, right? Because,
I want to go back and do the math now and figure it out. But yeah, it's definitely noticeable.
It's always a thing. I'm like in the middle of, I was sitting talking, and I'm like, I want to sit and do the math, and every time afterwards I always forget to go and, figure it out. But man, I've been loving that wiki as I go back and forth and try to figure out what I got to save, and slowed my hero progress down a little bit. But, well, hey, we're at about an hour 10. Do you guys want to do some shout outs, or is there anything that we haven't got to that you wanted to talk about?
Well, first of all, if you're interested in joining Phantom Zone, like I said, we're a fun, relaxed clan. We like to war. Chuck pretty much, I wear the leader hat, but he's kind of the day-to-day guy in Phantom Zone. And then Phantom Zone 2, Vadlag is leading that up, and I'm over there as well. So fan in the stands. We've been fan in the stands since the beginning. And then I believe, because obviously I'm married to the Clash files, so I'd get in trouble at home if I didn't throw that one in there. So either one of those two passwords will get you in, and if you want to war and have fun, come over. And then, if you've got a minute, I've got I'm going to do some live shout outs from some guys that are 3-star and some stuff in our war right now. And
I do want to say shout out to the Clash files and those guys. Check out the podcast. It's awesome.
So Boston Beatdown, he 3-star. He's an R6, 3-starred their number 2, and that's pretty much what he does. He just logs in, puts in work. It's pretty impressive. TC just 3-starred his mirror with a really nice lava loon attack. I'm gonna mess this up. Rampano Blanco. Just
Pago Blanco.
Yeah, there you go. He just 3-starred a pretty decent Town Hall 8 with centralized level 6 air defenses with a dragon attack.
Seriously?
Which is it's not easy, and this attack is damned impressive. Max Wizards Towers, Max Archers Towers is for Town Hall 8 stuff, and Max centralized air defenses, and he absolutely smokes it. And
what did he use?
9, or he used just 10 dragons and 2 rage, a heal, a poison. I don't think he ever dropped the poison, and then balloons in the clan castle.
Wow, that's impressive.
And just really good placement, and the dragons behaved, and he did a really good job.
That's awesome.
And let's see if
I was running into that with, it was like if I saw Mac, it's level 6 Air D and the Max 8 Wizard Towers, I knew like it was not going to go well.
Yeah, and then if I can just hit these last couple of guys here, Mower Man, he got a 3-star. I think that's a Town Hall 7 on Town Hall 7 crime. Demand got a 3-star. King Rios has 6 already. He took out the bottom 2 guys, and he's our bottom. So shout out to all those guys. And then real quick, the co-leaders, Chuck, Scabies, and who else?
Well, Scabies is over there, huh?
Yeah, Chuck,
Can't forget Pip.
Scabies, and Pip. Actually, yeah, we only have 3 right now. Pip is from Britain, and he is absolutely hilarious. So
that's awesome.
And then this is my
I feel like I've
first
worked with some of these guys before.
And then this has been an awesome opportunity. I mean, Chuck basically is taking care of my clan, and this is the first time we've got an opportunity to talk to each other. So that's really cool. So big shout out to you, Chuck. I appreciate everything you're doing, man.
That's been cool. Thanks.
Yeah, it's crazy that you guys hadn't talked, but I guess until a few weeks ago, I hadn't talked to most people in my clan in person. But
yeah, just in the line chat and then clan chat. I did want to actually. I had a list of people I wanted to shout out, and Bryce already got them all. And they were friends of mine from my old clan. That when I finally left, they came over with me. So that was TC, who was actually a girl. Just to correct you there. Braylon Pago Blanco. He's one of my best friends from growing up.
Awesome.
And then Boston Beatdown came over as well. He's gotten like 7 shout-outs now. And then Marvin, he's an 8.5, and his base doesn't look that intimidating, but he is just eating up more attacks than you'd believe. So 3 wars ago, he took 7 attacks, and they didn't 3-star him.
Holy shit.
The war after that was 9 attacks, and they didn't 3-star him.
Wow.
So now we have a new term now. If you can defend 4 times successfully, you've executed a half Marvin.
Oh my god. Can I ask? I mean, you don't have to give away the secret of his base. Is it anti-2 base, or is it like? I mean, is it just deceptively like with traps? Like,
it's I can't even really I don't know why it's as good as it is. You know, you think you know about base building, but
I think it's psychological warfare.
Okay.
Because he's our bottom 9. And he is a very, very, very 8.5. And I think it's psychological warfare. They go in there thinking they're going to be Billy Badass, and they come out going, "What in the hell happened?"
Wow.
2 wars ago at Town Hall 10, who was a legit Town Hall 10 2-starred him.
Wow.
The full go wipe max golems. So I can't explain it, but
Does he have high walls?
No,
7s. It's the Legend of Marvin.
Wow, that's crazy. That's really cool.
The whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
Yeah,
that's really cool. That's really awesome. Other shout outs, Chuck?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like nobody wants to listen to shout outs, but I mean, there's so many people in this clan, so I think I'll leave it at that.
So why don't you stop by Phantom Zone and check
One
out...
thing I do want to say too, people might have got the impression that we don't have any Town Hall 10s. We do have several Town Hall 10s. They just don't usually war. So any Town Hall 10s are welcome to come over as well. And some of our Town Hall 10s have just upgraded recently, so they're just kind of grinding out all the new offense before they start warring again. So we're not opposed to Town Hall 10s.
Yeah, which can, I mean, you hit Town Hall 10 and there's so much shit to do. I mean, like any Town Hall level. It's
Yeah.
So that's cool, yeah. And then with the defenses and the offense at that point. Well, cool guys. You know what? Thanks for being here, and big shout out to Phantom Zone. I keep meaning to get over there to war with you guys, and then I get sidetracked with Brittany, and so I will come by and war with you. I will not come to Phantom Zone 2 until there's a loss. I will say that. Because I can't handle that pressure. I went to Cadmus for a little bit, and I was so afraid I was going to screw it up. So I'll wait on that one. But yeah, it'll be fun to work with you guys and see what you're doing over there. So
all right, thanks a lot, Scotty. Appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Well, get a hold of me and the podcast at Scotty827 on Twitter and at WBSMT Radio on Twitter, and then ClashClansPodcast.com. You can find all the contact information and find all of the Kryptonian family clans there, and I have the hashtags for Phantom Zone, and I can put up the Phantom Zone 2 one as well. So And so you can find that stuff there if you're looking for them. Because as soon as you name it something, somebody comes along and copies it. And so if you're looking for it, what's Phantom Zone 2 at right now? Is it getting full, or is it
exactly 20? I believe is how many we have.
So you got some room to build a team and get things rocking.
Yeah, and if you search Phantom Zone, they come up right next to each other. So
Nice.
Black background, yellow stripe on the shield. Phantom Zone's a level 5 clan, and then Phantom Zone 2 is level 2 now. So
awesome. All right, guys. Well, keep it clashy.
Yeah, appreciate the time, Scotty, and highlighting us, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, see you guys later.
Skilly beep 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 skilly beep.